man, what is going on, y'all? Just about to take me a swig of this beverage here. Ice cold Miller Lite. I'm gonna swap out hats because I'm gonna climb under the truck and do some surgery, if you will. I gotta change some fluids. So it won't be any necessarily surgery. We just gotta do an oil check and change. Well, we already know that it's low, and I'm gonna put this hat on that way I don't froth up the red one, you know what I'm saying, once I climb under there. But I gotta go jack it up first, so let's just do this right now. Take another nice swig off our ice cold Miller Lite. We're gonna stick that bad boy in the koozie. Well, it's about gone. I'm just gonna chug it. So once I come back, that's what'll be going on today. On the show, on the Chad Keegan YouTube channel show. Anywho, now that's gone, I'm gonna have to go get another one, but let's walk out here. Already got basically everything set up that I need. I'm gonna check this out too. I've got mobile Delvac 1300 Super 1540 long-lasting formulas, and then I've got this mobile Delvac, this HDEO 1540, and I'm going to see heavy duty diesel engine oil. Now I get these from Walmart because that's where I can get my oil at the cheapest, and sorry for whipping you around real quick, but that's just what it is. And I'm gonna Googlate that really quick and see what the difference is. I don't think there's much difference. They taste the same. They're from the same brand. One's just a little bit cheaper than the other one. And I was running that 1540 HDEO in the Frankenstein, and I've had no problems with it. And I've only ran that other stuff in the blue truck, but I am gonna mix them because I'm a little bit short on what I need, and I was just at the Walmarts and I did not grab any. So let's get you over here and we'll get this cab jacked up real quick. But I want to talk to you about what I'm going to be doing, because I'm actually waiting on a phone call or text message from a dispatcher, because I just linked up with a company today. So I'm going to be running Chad J. Keegan, Defiance, Ohio, Blase Splat, with this company. Factoring company, basically a all-in-one stop shop for somebody who might be interested in getting their own authority, running under their own authority, and doing that whole thing. Treadstone Capital LLC. Okay, I've got a phone number for a contact that you can get a hold of if you're interested. All you got to do is get a hold of me. His name's George. You know, when I was getting all those calls and stuff about my authority going active, this and that, let's get you set up right here, and I'm just going to keep talking to you while I jack this up, okay? My authority going active and all that good stuff. There was one phone call in particular that I took on, I think it was maybe a Thursday or something like that. You know, I had been getting blowed up. Maybe it was a Friday. Let some of that air go out. Maybe it was a Friday. I was, you know, I was just getting blowed up left and right. Foreign people here and there calling and talking. And I was kindly irritated with the whole situation. You know, but then I got a phone call and I seen it coming through that it was from Cleveland, Ohio. maybe it was Cincinnati. Maybe it was Cincinnati is what it was from. So I figured I'd answer it because it was an Ohio number. I'm from Ohio. I figured if I'm going to work with somebody, I'm going to want to be within a few hours of driving to where I can show up somewhere if needed. You know what I mean? Because you never know if you need to sign some papers or anything like that goes on. So I figured, well, I'll answer this phone call, and it was a gentleman by the name of George, and he was extremely friendly with me and talked to me like I was a human being, explained some things to me, which I liked, you know, and I just didn't feel like they were just trying to get my money. So Treadstone Capital LLC is who I just signed up with, their factoring company, and I basically signed a 6-month agreement with them to do my factoring through. Now, the thing about it is we're sitting here talking, and he's telling me it's a set rate at 2.99%. It's not going to go up. It's not going to go down. It's not any hidden fees or anything like that. There's a $5 ACH transfer fee. That's from when the load gets factored, they get the money. That's to go into my bank account, my personal bank account. I don't have to worry about setting up any other account. Or if I do get a fuel card for them, through them, an EFS card, that will go, I can tell them, hey, I want this much money on that. That's the $5 transfer fee. So if I get a load factored and say it's, you know what I'm saying, $800 or $900, and I say, yeah, throw it on this prepaid fuel card. That way I know I got it and I can fill up the next time. I can do that. And then the rest of the money I can send to my bank account, and that's just a $5 fee. And then there's a $1 filing fee or something like that that they get. But they get 2.99 each time you file with them. And then there's a $30 wire transfer fee if you want it wired to you directly, you know, somewhere. If you're sitting somewhere and say I'm at a truck stop and, man, I'm broke and I need the money now and I need it wired to me now, it's going to cost me $30. So I'd rather have it just go to my bank. Most of the stuff is the next business day if you have it in by 1 o'clock. So that's cool. I'm getting some emails now and some text messages, but nothing through them. I'm just basically waiting on the dispatcher to get a hold of me because I basically submitted everything yesterday and today that I needed to, you know, through them. But the thing about them is, which I did not know and I've never heard about them, was they also offer everything for you. So if, say, like when I got my authority, I had a membership through OOIDA. The first time in 2018, I did it myself, and things just didn't work out. So I had DOT numbers and MC numbers just sitting there, and things just didn't work out to where I didn't never go active. So basically it canceled out, but they were still in my name and everything was still there. So I figured the next time, instead of spending all the money out of my pocket and trying to just figure things out, I had got a membership through OOIDA because, you know, they're kind of big and that's what a lot of people do. So I got my membership through them, and I pretty much had them set everything up. Now, George tells me that Treadstone Capital LLC does all that stuff for you too. So if you're a new person that wants to get your authority, get your MC numbers and stuff like that, but you don't know where to go to do that, these guys will do that for you. They will get you compliant with the clearinghouse. They'll get you set up with your drug screens. They'll also get you set up to where if you need insurance for your truck for some reason, because I asked him, I said, do you guys offer insurance? He said, yes, we do. So they are basically like a one-stop shop. They offer you everything. And for some odd reason, if you don't have the money to get the insurance started on your truck, they can offer you a loan to get that started. And what they'll do is basically take it out of your factoring money when you start pulling loads after you get started, but they'll get you set up with everything that you need to be able to get your authority active, your own DOT numbers and all that stuff. As long as you're compliant, you just need to call and probably do some kind of fill out some paperwork so they can check everything out. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's any kind of membership fee or anything like that. I know that OOIDA is like a $50 membership fee, and then I know this NASDAQ, there's other options, and they're like $250 for something that you have to do. So they have a fee also, but they, you know, offer this stuff. But I don't know of any other company that offers all of this stuff and can dispatch you. So what I'm going to be doing is basically pulling power moves, because the first time I talked to George, he said, do you have a trailer? I said, no. He said, do you want to rent a trailer? I said, he says, we can get you hooked up with a 53-foot dry van. We could get you hooked up with a flatbed. We could get you hooked up with a Conestoga. Basically, anything that you would want to rent, they can get you hooked up with. But then you've got rental fees and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, do you offer power moves? And he says, yes, we can dispatch you power moves, or you can find them on your own from load boards and this and that. So I said, why don't we just go with that from now? Because I don't necessarily want to. I have my insurance set up through Progressive to where I can go 500 miles. It's 500 air miles from where I'm at right now, my location. So that basically goes down to Atlanta. That goes up into mid Wisconsin, and then, you know, up over east and all that. Basically covers all that stuff, besides maybe some of the coast up towards the top of the map over here. But it's just what it is. You know, I can pretty much go anywhere I want to and do that stuff. So I just said I want to bounce around, do some different things, and who knows what's really around here locally that I can't see or I can't get a hold of that they can get from me. Now there's plenty of options. There's an app on the phone that I'm hooked up to where I'll be able to see all my stuff, see my loads. I'm just going to basically scan all my stuff in and send it in once I get it done, which that'll take a couple days for me to be able to record that stuff. But once I start going, I'll do that. I'm just letting you know right now, if you're interested, I can get you in contact with a guy named George from Treadstone LLC, Treadstone Capital LLC, and he can hook you up. So, or at least talk to you more and fill you in better than what I can, because I'm new to this. You know what I'm saying? So he can really take care of you and hook you up. So if you're interested, just let me know. Maybe I'll drop some stuff in the comments or whatever. I'll talk to him, let him know what all kind of, you know, because if I can drop a phone number, I'll just put a phone number in the comments or across the screen here and you'll see it. So that's what's up. I just want to take a minute and talk to you about that, because I know there's a few people who may be interested in do that. I know I've already got a couple people in contact with him. And when you do call, make sure you say you heard it from me. Okay. You refer it to me, because I get, you know, I will get a referral when this comes through. So I'm excited about the new opportunities. I was going to do something else, but that kind of stuff fell through, and we'll get into that later. I just figured right now, for the people who are interested and who do want to know, and you know, are maybe looking to get started out like this, you can do this. They have an office in Marietta, Georgia, somewhere in South Carolina. I can't exactly remember where, in Cincinnati, Ohio. My guy is running solo outside of Youngstown, Ohio. So I told him, I said, hey, I may have the dispatcher hook me up somewhere around there to where I'm dropping a load around there to where I'm going to be, you know, hanging out there for the night before, you know, need to reset. I'm going to say, come and meet me, and we're going to have a beer and we're going to talk. And I may be sitting down with him to do an interview so he can, you know, come on, get some FaceTime with him. But yes, I can give you some contact information if you're interested. So just let me know and we'll go from there. But right now I need to go out there. I need to get me a wrench, and I need to go down there and start draining some oil. So that's what's up. Well, I got everything out, you know, that I had the old oil pan under there. Now that only holds a certain amount. It's not going to hold everything that's in the truck. So I basically had to dig around and try to find some empty jugs, in which I got over there that I had over in a corner behind some other things. And that way, once it gets to a certain full, you know what I'm saying, I could go dump them out and then do that. And then what I'll probably do is transfer maybe them into the 5-gallon bucket or just keep them. But Geraldine down the road has a at his farm all place, he's got a 5-gallon drum that holds old used oil and stuff that he shoves off. So I'm gonna need to get a hold of him, because he's got a couple favors he's gonna owe me for doing some stuff for him around here. But I'm gonna get down there and drop that off. That's 1.25 inches. And while I was in the thing, I was digging around and I seen that this is a 4072, and that's exactly what I needed. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I changed that out, which I may have when I swapped the radiators. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it. But let's get down here real quick. There's enough room in here for me to slide down through here, if you know what I mean. And we'll bust this off, and it's already draining a little bit. I have it loosened up basically to where it will let's just hook you up right here where I can see what you can see, and then you can see what you need to see. You don't have to sit here and hold your one hand, get dirty with the other, if you know what I mean. Let's get this out a little bit more and just crank this off slowly, because I just loosened it up, and then by hand I just twisted it out.
Oh, there we go. Whoa, Jesus
Well, let's try this again here. Got me a nice mess here on this cardboard and stuff, and a little bit of gravel there from that whole debacle. Got it down my legs, on my arms. I did wipe most of it off with a towel, but when I was carrying it over to dump it in those jugs, some drips in my crock and stuff like that. So we got a pretty nasty mess here. But the rest of it shouldn't go out too bad, because it is there's 5 gallons over there. Who knows how many gallons on the ground here? At least 1, if not possibly 2. And then you know, rest there, which I'm just looking at this right now. So yeah, I'll just let that drain out real quick. Just looking to see if there's any metal or anything like that in there. I'm not seeing any flakes, so that's good. It looks pretty clear to me. I mean, even though it's old black and, you know, it's kind of thin, but there's still enough consistency on there to where I'm not worried, because when I dip my finger in, oh, it's about out. Dip my finger in the oil that I've got an open jug over there, and that's about the consistency of it. It was just clear. It wasn't black like that. But so yeah, I don't think that oil was too bad. It did probably have about 12 to 15K on it, so I'm just going to change it, because there's no sense of running it. You know, everybody says 15,000 miles to change them, so that's what it is. And then once that drains out and stuff, and I get all that all taken care of, which shockingly that's all it was, because, you know, there's obviously more than, you know, 2 gallons on the ground. It's just what it is, and who knows how much is sitting in those filters. So once I get this, I'll try to drain that out, get this buttoned up and cleaned up a little bit, and then crank those filters off, and we'll be back. Oh man, I'm back. And I don't know if I talked about washing my hands and feet off in the cistern or not, but I did just talk to George on the phone while I was doing that. And here's his number. Go ahead and just call him. Reach out to him and talk to him. He can fill you in with everything you need to know. You can look them up. They've got a 4.9 score on Google when you search them. I read reviews because I was sketched out about it, okay? I talked to the dude a couple of times, because the guy didn't even know I did a YouTube channel when he first called, okay? And I said, well, George, this is what it is. This is who I am, blah, blah, blah. And I said, check me out on YouTube. I drive a 1983 K100. So he said, you can text me, call me anytime you want to on this number. So as soon as we get off the phone, because I told him, I said, yeah, look me up. Just Google my name, blah, blah, blah. That's what my YouTube channel is. And so I sent him a picture of the truck, because he's like, oh, man, that's a real truck. That sounds sweet, blah, blah, blah. So I said, cool, man. We got off the phone for the first time, done talking. I sent him the picture of the truck. Later on that day, probably about 4 or 5 hours later, because he's like, yeah, when I get done doing some stuff, I'll check it out. About 4 or 5 hours later, I get a phone call, and it's from him. Now, we're sitting in on the couch watching that Jelly Roll program on Hulu. There was an ABC program, and we're just, tears are rolling. I'm not answering the phone talking to George when I'm tear jerking over this thing, you know what I mean? So I let the phone go. Next thing you know, he sends me a text saying, hey man, just watched a couple of your videos, really good stuff, blah, 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 this and that. So he didn't even know that I did YouTube or what I drove or anything like that before he called me. So if I wouldn't answer the phone and picked up that phone and talked to him, I would have never known. But to have a 4.9 rating on Google is pretty good. I mean, you can look them up. Here's what you do, what you type in, and what you can see right here. Okay, there's pictures of trucks pulling their stuff. They have a, looks like a NASCAR race car, some kind of racing car. They got all kinds of things. They're going to take care of you if you need it. And they're going to do everything you want to. And I never read a bad review. Like, I talked to George for a week before I ever signed up or anything or signed the agreement. He sent the agreement later that day. I never looked at it for a week because I stewed over some things. I thought about some stuff. So I woke up one night and I started looking at that agreement. So I read the agreement. There was a couple things I was sketched out about, but I did more research, you know. I looked them up. I seen that score myself. And I thought, wow, I'm not reading any bad reviews on this company, so this isn't too bad. So I basically talked to him the next day and I said, okay, let me get my apportion plate, because that was one thing that was holding me up. I didn't just want to sign up with a company and say, hey, look, I'm stuck in Ohio. You know, can you help me out? I don't want to be a burden like that to somebody, because I wouldn't want to be a burden to myself for that. Even though these people are super friendly, they're willing to work with you and help you out, whatever your case or situation may be. You just got to contact them and, you know, talk to them about it and see what's going on. So I'm going to take this phone call and I will be right back. So yeah, that was basically my personal financial manager, and I just slipped on this cardboard. Hopefully I don't kill myself here. She was contacting me because she wanted to make sure that I got the email and everything like that, and make sure that I knew how to send her all the proper paperwork for factoring the loads. So I just told her that I did get the email. I downloaded, because there's 2 apps that I was able to download. So that is extremely nice. Try and break these filters loose. I think I need to go the other way, because that seemed like it was tightening it up. Come on. Okay, come on, baby. And she was super friendly. Is that loosening or tightening that? Okay, I think that's tightening. I mean, need to go take it the other way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Righty. Okay, I don't know. I don't know, folks. Oh, oh my goodness. Well, me tighten that one too much, and I'm slipping out on this fucking cardboard that's down here. I may have to cut that out. Cut that shit out. All right. I'll be back once I get these off. Okay, well, I'm back. I figured it out. I actually read on the filter right there. It told me which ways to do it. It says to put the oil in there first, and then to fill it up, then which way to turn it on. So I actually twisted it off and I propped myself up, so that's good. But I'm gonna get these changed out and swapped real quick, because I got to dump the oil in before I put them back on, and that's kind of a long drawn out process that I just don't want to bring you all along with. And then once I get over to dumping the oil and filling it up, maybe we'll come back and talk about some things, because I think we were talking about some good stuff. I just can't remember what. But here again is Treadstone Capital US and all the good stuff. So make the phone call if you need to. Well, I'm back. There's some cardboard down there trying to soak up some oil and stuff like that from a mess I made. Already got about 4.5-5 gallons in, because I was talking to CK Calhoun. If you guys remember him or not, he's the guy that bought Betty White from me, my Betty White day cab truck. And seen him last weekend over to Dane Scott's GMC Jamboree. And I also was talking to a guy named Todd who was signed up with Treadstone also, and I was telling CK about it, because he's like, yeah, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that, I want to blah blah blah. And I said, why don't you check them out, because they're kind of a one-stop shop, and they definitely be able to hook you up. So you know, we just chatted a little bit, and he was just trying to fill me in on some things, and you know, what his plans were with Betty and this and that. And so that's what's going on. But I'm gonna dump the rest of this oil in real quick, and we'll get back with you, if you know what I mean. I've got so much. I've got, let's get out of there. There's a freaking hose right in the way, which this an AC hose. I need to check on this. Maybe if I had some R12, I'd bang this stuff right out. But there's the old dumping nozzle right there. So we'll get some oil down in your face, and we'll dump some stuff and bump our gums at you a little bit here. So I'm basically going to dump 8 in right now. And that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with 8, and then I'm going to check the old oil, and we'll go from there. I'd rather have a little less than more. I mean, even though more, you can always drain out, but I'm really not interested in draining anything out, if you know what I mean, after what you just saw. Sometimes less is more, and in this case, that's what we're going for. We're going for less is more, because we don't want a big old mess and shit. So Yeah, we're on the phone, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm under the cab. I'm between the cab and the engine, standing on top of it with a 5-gallon bucket of oil, trying to dump it in while I'm talking to you and having a conversation. Made a little bit of a mess, but not too much of a mess to where I'm like too concerned about it. You know, may smell like a fresh oil change here for a little bit, but that's trucking, baby. If you know what I mean, get in there. Get in my belly. Yeah, so it'd be nice to get some other people set up and you know, get him out of the old funk. You know, he's calling me, he's telling me about how he's tired of doing the same thing, working for somebody that, you know, just wants to run him ragged and stuff like that, and he just needs a change. And, you know, he basically did what I did with the blue truck. He bought the Betty White truck for a decent price from me. And, you know, he's just taking his time fixing it up. And, well, I guess the time is now, because he's really getting tired and irritated of dealing with the BS that he's having to deal with from somebody telling him what to do and stuff like that. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's nice to work for somebody, but at the same time, he has worked for himself before. So it's not like he's afraid of working for himself or anything like that, you know. So that's what he's ready to make the move. And I think that he'd be a good fit over there too, because he was like, well, what can you do, this and that? You know, can you run? Blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, pretty much you can run whatever you want to. So let's get you over here and maybe get you a different angle. Here, I mean, no, you're not. Where? What can you see? I got 2 more gallons I'm going to dump in before I'm going to go and check. And I'm just getting like crammed up around here. It's kind of hard to be right here. You can't see because of the tubes right in a way, but I'm going to dump. I dumped pretty much all I could of that other stuff in. Now I'm gonna dump a couple of these, and I still haven't had the chance to see what the difference is yet. I'm not really worried if this stuff mixes. I mean, it's the same brand, at least. It's not like it's anything too off the wall or crazy. I mean, it probably tastes the same too. But yeah, I'm just still waiting on that old dispatcher to get a hold of me so I can start doing some stuff and get things set up here. Someone's supposed to be getting a hold of me about a fuel card too, because I can transfer my money to a fuel card, because he said, you know, the whole credit situation and stuff like that. So basically I'm going to get a fuel card through them, and instead of getting a ACH transfer straight to my bank account, I can have money added to a fuel card that I can use. And I was telling CK that because he was asking questions, so that'll be nice. Just have money put right on a fuel card that I know is mine, that's paid for, that I don't have to worry about some credit company coming after and trying to pull things before, you know, because there's a holiday weekend, or, you know, the money's not there yet for something that hasn't been factored, so they're going to pull something without any approvals, and they're just, you know, pulling stuff, and then next thing you know, they give you a negative, and then there's a bunch of issues, and we don't need any drama. We don't need any problems like that. So it'll be nice to have something that's prepaid and just ready to go. Money that I made already, that's put on there. You know what I mean? And they do have advances too. So say you broker a load and you say, I need a fuel advance because I can't make it to where I need to go with this load. They'll give you a fuel advance on that load. And then once, you know, you turn that load in and stuff and you get it factored and they get the money and whatnot, they'll just take it out of there. So they can, you know, there's plenty of options for somebody just getting started to do stuff without having to have a bunch of financial overhead to where you worry about things like that. Now me, fortunately, I've got some funds saved up and sitting back for a rainy day, because I was a good squirrel and saved my nuts, if you know what I mean, during the winter time. So I probably start running with some cash right now, and then I'll get the fuel card, and then I'll get some money put on a fuel card, and then I'll be able to, you know, switch back and forth. You know, one load I can just say, hey, dump it all on the fuel card. That way I can do a complete fill up the next time, or I can run a couple loads, and then I could say, hey, you know, give me that money. Or I could do just every other one, just dump it, and or I could just build a fuel card up while I'm sitting around on some money and some loads. You know, there's options. I mean, like, I don't have a ton of bills, so I'm still in a pretty decent position. I do have a Cadillac I want paid off, so My plan is to really bust it, you know what I'm saying, to get some things taken care of. I borrowed some money off of my personal savings, me and my wife's, that I want to pay back also. So there's another thing, but you know, there's plenty of options that you have with a company like this that can get you going and set straight. So I'm gonna get off here real quick and check that oil so we can see what's going on. Yeah, that's right. Nice cold one. We'll check this oil. We'll pull this dipstick out real quick. I know you can't see it, but it's right here. We're gonna pull it out. We're gonna check it. We'll know where we need to go from here. And it's nice when you can change the oil in your driveway, even though you make a mess. And you think about your future with a company like Treadstone LLC and know that you're taken care of. Looks like we need about maybe another gallon if you can get in there. Can you get in there on that? I don't know if you can get in there on that or not, because that is super clear. But it's about right here in the middle of L and F, if you can see that. So I'm gonna wipe this clean, and then I'll stick her back in and we'll see what's going on. But yeah, things should be going good. And you know, stay tuned. It'll probably be a few days. I'm probably going to take a few days off of doing YouTube videos. I just figured I'd put this out there. That way, if anybody was interested, I know I did have a guy interested, Weep Weep. Can't exactly remember the rest of your name, but it's what it is. And I'm pretty sure I know who it is because I've talked to him before on Facebook and stuff like that. So this is exactly what I would suggest to you. And if you need any more information, you know how to get a hold of me through Facebook. So yeah, I'm going to dump another gallon in and see what happens, because it is right between that L and F, if you can see that or not. Low and full, folks. Low and full. So we're going to do that. I'm going to wrap this up right now because I'm going to do that. Change this fuel, that coolant filter. Not fuel. That thing was done a while ago. And that's what it is. So I guess look for some future videos of me talking about loads and stuff like that, pulling some power moves through them. Like I said, you do power moves, you can rent a trailer, do anything you need to get you going, and they'll take care of you. So far, both conversations, every time I've talked to George, man, he's been super cool, super informative. When I talked to the gal that is going to be my account manager, she was freaking awesome too. So that's what's up. Google them, look them up, do your own research if you don't believe me. That's all I can say to you. And hopefully they can take care of you if you have some trucking needs. So until then, you know what we say. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Get a hold of Treadstone if you need to. We'll take care of you. Until then, we will see you.